As you all know, thanks to my Mario 64 video, Super Mario 64 is my least favorite 3D Mario game. However, one of my favorite things about Mario 64 is the creative ways fans of this game can go in order to create unique experiences using the Mario 64 engine. Rom hacks, or fan games, have given fans of a particular game the chance to try out new adventures featuring their favorite games growing up, which, me being a Tomb Raider fan, makes me ultra happy thanks to the endless Tomb Raider level editor community. But in this video, we'll talk about one of the more popular Mario 64 ROM hacks, and what I would say is one of, if not the best ROM hack I've ever played based on my least favorite 3D Mario game. And as a bonus, we'll also work on mastering said hack by getting all 57 achievements in Super Mario 64 Last Impact by Case Emanuar, which is only possible thanks to the RetroAchievements website, which allows you to get achievements for your favorite retro games from the NES to the Wii with everything in between, including ROM hacks. And as usual, we will be getting these achievements in hardcore mode, which is the only way to master these games. So this set is somewhat similar to the Mario 64 main set, as we have certain achievements where we must do some challenges in certain courses. But because this is a ROM hack, we have to use our brain and uncover some Easter eggs that Case has placed in certain levels of what I would say is his magnum opus ROM hack, even though we're going to slowly descend into hell with this one, but more on that later. So, if you enjoy this video, subscribe for more RetroAchievement masteries, and don't forget to check my Wolf Archives channel for the full playthrough. My name is Jonathan Wolf, and I'm on a quest to prove to the world that I'm good at video games, and let's begin our mastery of Super Mario 64 Last Impact. Our adventure begins with Peach and Toad enjoying a nice day, when suddenly 3 meteors crash into the Mushroom Kingdom, 2 of them spawning prickly piranha plants, where you must defeat them the same way as you do in Mario Galaxy. Just wait for their lunge and then strike them with a bounce. And once you defeat both of them, Peach senses danger and tasks Mario to retrieve the Power Stars in order to save the Mushroom Kingdom from future catastrophes. We will learn about this catastrophe later, so for now let's enter the very first course of the game, Wildlife Valley, which can be accessed by going through this open field and heading into the course itself, which is pretty cool because it's not just a transition like how it is in Vanilla 64. We actually go to the level, which is pretty cool. So similar to Mario 64, I will get all the stars in order while getting course related achievements along the way. And because I don't want to bore you with a detailed explanation for each star, you know the drill at this point. If you want to see my full mastery playthrough, check my archives channel if you're interested. But for the sake of consistency, I'll treat this game and future 64 hacks the same way I did my Vanilla 64 video, where I'll just give a quick explanation of every single star. Now, one of the coolest aspects about this game is that most of the times when selecting a star, you'll get a camera angle showcasing where to go for the star, similar to how they do it for Sunshine and Galaxy. So going into star 1, we have to touch Fuzzy in order to get Dizzy. And here we have an achievement for touching all of the Fuzzies throughout the course in one visit. And while I have Mario trip all of the balls, we also work on the 100 coin star, which at the end will give us an achievement for getting our very first Power Star. And after getting the star and touching all of the Fuzzies in the level, we make it to where the first proper star is and have to avoid Fuzzies while dealing with the strong winds. But by getting Dizzy with the last remaining Fuzzies, we'll get our first challenge achievement of the set, but also have a straight path to the first proper star of the course. Star 2, we need to free this bunny that has been captured by these tap-taps, where Mom Rabbit, or Dad, I don't know, tells us that we can defeat them by luring them into the swamp. And by luring the correct tap-tap, you'll acquire the key that will free the rabbit and get the next star. Star 3, we must go inside the street and scale it for our prize. And this level gave me a false sense of security because despite the camera having better controls than Vanilla 64, later stages would remind me why this camera just sucks ass. For star 4, we head behind the big tree and encounter this monkey that wants to play tag with you. And all you need to do is tackle him and he'll give you a friendship token, whatever the hell that means. Star 5 is the red coin star, which is next to star 1. And all coins are right next to each other, which are very easy to get. And finally, for star 6, we must ride the wind on these dandelions and reach the star, getting 100% completion for course 1. Up next, we have course 2, which is located in this pipe surrounded by Moai statues. But before heading there, we help Yoshi get a coconut into this basket so that he can take them to Yoshi Island. And by doing some Mario Sunshine fruit escort, which is honestly not that bad, we get our first secret star of the game. And so now we go into course 2, Stone Snake Shatters, where in star 1 we need to destroy these spiky balls surrounding the snake monument. Just wait for their spikes to retract and punch them like if your name is Chris Redfield. And once you break all the rocks, enter the tent and talk to Indiana Bombs and he'll give you the star. Star 2, we need to do some community service and clean up the snake temple. But how do we do that, you may ask? Your eyes did not deceive you. Check it out. We have Flood. Yes, Flood in a 64 ROM hack, and it controls the same as Sunshine. Oh my god, this is the greatest game ever. One of the coolest things about Last Impact, and to an extension ROM hacks made by Case, we have brand new power-ups in Mario 64, which work like a dream and do fit with the world you find yourself in. And with the hover nozzle, we must remove these mud spots from the temple in order to get an easy star. In Star 3, we go inside this temple and scale it to the top with the help of Flood and this snake in a section very similar to Lost World from Sonic Adventure. However, because we are equipped with the mightiness that is a hover nozzle, this star is incredibly easy. Star 4, we have to enter the snake mouth and solve this tile puzzle. If you go to the 10th from Star 1, Indy will give you hints about the puzzle. But if you just press the bottom left and bottom right buttons, you'll solve this puzzle very easily and also get an achievement that got me questioning my puzzle solving abilities. Let me actually see real quick. Does it? Oh, it's also diagonal. Oh shit. And... wait. Really? Really? Okay, I was overthinking this way too much. And you say the same thing. You are the same character. And we are the puzzle master. Star 5 is the red coins, and alongside this star, I went for the 100 coin star. And because these levels are not as big as some courses in Vanilla 64, the red coins are easy to find. And finally, we have Star 6, where we must get punished by tampering around the sacred shrines of the Snake God. Oh my god, it's a flying serpent. Nice. Oh my god, he's gonna eat me! Oh, pfft. Nice. Hello? Sir? Wait. Where did he go? Oh, hi. Wait, did he went through the wall? Bonk. And there we go. That was hard. So after defying a god, which is not the first time I actually do this, we take a boat ride to course 3, Sunset Islet, where we must get into labor inside a lighthouse by scaling it to the top. For star 2, we must go inside the shell and swim to the end and collect the star while avoiding some crabbies, which, now that I see them, nah, I'll still pass. And here we get into a very interesting chain for this game, and that is the existence of an air meter that once it depletes, you'll start losing health. And the only way to get your breath back is to get to the surface or get a bubble, which will be mandatory for certain levels. But after getting clipped by crabs, we go again and get our star no problem. Star 3, we must access this mountain that is blocked by boulders. But thankfully, we have some explosives that will help us get rid of the debris. But how do we blow them up? With a fire flower, of course, which, similar to B Mario from Galaxy, will go away if you touch water, so that's kind of cool, I guess. So we use these boats in order to get across and get to the top for our star. Star 4 is the red coins, where we have a cute homage to Sunshine with this coral reef. And just like course 2, we also aim for the 100 coin star as well. And by getting the red coin star, we'll reach 20 stars and unlock the first Bowser stage, which will give us an achievement for our troubles. Star 5, we must restore the ocean after some crabbies drained the water by removing the cork, however the hell that works. And all it takes is to just push it into the hole, like if you're playing golf, and the star is yours. Finally, star 6, we must reach the top of the lighthouse by using this balloon. But before we head up, let's commit a little genocide for the sake of an achievement. And that is to ruin a perfectly peaceful vacation. Oh my god, what the fuck? So after that happy accident, we inflate this balloon and make it to the top in order to fully complete course 3. Now before heading into course 4, we return to course 1 so that we can get our first Easter egg achievement. Behind the big tree, if you stand where the prickly piranha plant was and look at the tree, you'll see a secret message where apparently Case ships Dimencio and Mimi from Super Paper Mario. Even though the former So, heading into course 4, which is below the pier to course 3, we arrive at the Crystal Caves. For star 1, we must enter this damp cave while watching for falling rocks and jumping through this large body of water in order to get our prize. Star 2, we must go into the other direction from the damp cave and collect 5 silver stars in this Tektite infested section of the cave. And these silver stars work very similarly to Galaxy, in that getting hit will not make you lose a silver star like how it is in 64DS. Star 3, we head into a mermaid home filled with racist mermaids towards fat red Italian plumbers. I'm just saying, if Luigi was here, they'd be singing another story. For this star, we must race this mermaid by swimming through the rings around a circular water course. Unfortunately, Mario is not the greatest swimmer in the world, so we may have to use some assistance by collecting this frog suit, which increases your swimming speed and allows you to breathe underwater. And with this power-up, we can win the race easily, assuming the ring hitboxes don't bug out like how they do in Star Fox SNES. But here we also have the challenge of beating the race in less than 34 seconds. And as long as you know where the rings are and you time your A presses in order to swim faster, you'll get this one no problem. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, okay. Eventually, because there's nothing more annoying than having to wait a couple milliseconds before the race actually ends after crossing the last ring. Dude, again? Oh my god. Why doesn't the race end the moment I cross the ring? Come on! Yes! There we go. Star 4, we go into the racetrack, but this time we enter the Water Temple. But unlike a particular Water Temple that is really not that bad and people just complain just for the sake of it, this temple is very unique and not that bad, where you must go through 2 versions of the temple while pressing switches that will make snake blocks appear and make a way to the star. Star 5 is the red coin star, and just like the other times, we get the 100 coin star alongside it. And as for the red coins, they're all in the beginning area, so you don't have to go out of your way to get some of them, which a part of me does like it since they're all in one place, but at the same time, it would be cool to actually have them all over the place, depending on the course. And finally, Star 6, we must save the mermaids by trapping this huge demon fish that escaped captivity. This one is very easy, just stand your ground, or stand your water, I don't know, and play Toto with this fish so that it charges into the cave, locking himself, which will net you the final star of course 4, and say goodbye to these racist mermaids. So before we go into course 5, we go towards this challenge and ascend to the heavens as we have our very first one of course above the clouds, even though we're going to revisit this course 2 more times on separate occasions, but that's besides the point. And here we have another power-up to play with, the Cloud Flower, which works just like Galaxy 2's Cloud Suit, as you need cloud ammo in order to make platforms and reach the star at the top of the level, which is very easy to do, which kind of serves as a tutorial for the Cloud Suit, which, oh boy, we're in for some shit with the Cloud Suit, let me tell you that right now. So once we get the star, we become a rocket man and head to the stars and arrive at course 5, Abandoned Outpost. For star 1, we must infiltrate the base, and the way to do this is by activating the blue door switch. The main base has 4 different color doors, which can be opened by scaling the colored tower and pressing the button. Thankfully, the blue door is the easiest to open, and we can scale the base to the top and get our first star. Star 2, we must scale the red tower and open the red door for our reward. This tower is the hardest one to scale, mainly because of the Octogoombas and these things. But with patience, you'll reach the top of the tower just as efficiently as a jumping doodle, and by entering the red door, we will access the star. Star 3, we must re-enter the base and scale this tower and do some creative Mario Galaxy platforming in order to get to the star, while avoiding, again, whatever these things are. I have no idea. Star 4, we must go back inside, but before we do so, we head over to the yellow tower and activate the door, which will reveal a bob-omb body that will activate a cannon that will allow you to shoot into the space and get the star. And because the yellow tower gave me a bunch of coins, I decided to go for the 100 coin star as well, which involves killing these mecha dodongos by hitting them in the balls, which are on its tail. Don't ask. And once we grab our star, we make it to the top of the base and use the cannon to shoot into our reward. Star 5 is the red coin star, and as the name of the star implies, every red coin is located in a crater on the outside, which makes them very easy to find. And lastly, we have Star 6, where we must head to the green tower and catch a literal shooting star, which is really clever. Now you may have noticed that because the green tower is destroyed, there's no way to open the green door. However, that being said, there is a way to open it, but we'll find a way to do so later. So for now, let's grab the last star of the course and head into the first Bowser stage. But before we do that, we get attacked by the Goomba brothers, who use the power of the stars to enhance their powers and use the deadly triangle and pokey formation. But because we also have star power, we use it to defeat the terrible trio and get their star as compensation. So now that we 100% completed all main courses, we head through this cave and make our way to the first Bowser stage. Now before we head into this hole and go into the underground depths. In this stage, we have 2 stars to collect instead of just 1. For our first star, we use the fire flower to burn these torches and make stuff happen like opening a gate and raising platforms from the lava so that we can jump to the star. And good freaking luck trying to get to the second set of torches, because my god, these platforms can be very scary to go through. And for our second star, we have to defeat this devil bully, which activates a fire shield every time we bump him. And because we only have 6 HP instead of 8 for some stupid reason, this mini boss can be one tough cookie. But as long as you're patient, you'll send this bully back to hell and get all stars in this level as well as another achievement. So now it's time for the first Bowser stage, Bowser's Fiery Castle. And just like the previous level, we have 2 stars to grab. Star 1 is the red coins, which we can get as we make our way through the castle. But for Star 2, once you reach red coin number 3, jump on this wall and there will be a path that'll take you to the first star of the level. So once we grab it, as we continue getting the coins, towards the end we will have a checkpoint. And this checkpoint will be a lifesaver for the stage, since we have 3 Easter egg achievements to grab. 2 of them require us to kill ourselves. But more on that later. But before we actually work on these achievements, let's take a fiery log ride and collect the last 2 red coins and get the last star that will give us an achievement. And as we make it to the end, we have our boss fight against the Koopa King himself. Now unlike Mario 64, where you must chuck Bowser at bombs, here we pull an Uno reverse card and chuck a bomb into Bowser. But you want to be fast, otherwise Bowser will jump to the other side of the bridge and have to chase him and attempt to throw a bomb at him. But once you defeat him, you'll get access to the key and end of the stage. But before ending, we must get some Easter egg achievements. On the first platform of the Bowser fight, if you stand in the middle of it and look towards one of the grates, you'll find a captive Waddle-Doo that unfortunately missed the memo and got into the wrong ruler's castle. Next, if you check underneath the bridge before the checkpoint, you'll see a Larry sign at the bottom. And if you manage to touch it, you'll get an achievement. At the cost of a life, which I'm debating if I should count it for the death count at the end, but I guess I'll do it because I like counting, I guess. But if that wasn't dumb enough, we have to do the same thing again. After defeating Bowser again, we can wall jump to the top of the cage with the key. And on top of it, we have a 1-up, but behind the cage, we have a Morden Scribble, where you must do the same thing as the Larry Scribble for another achievement. And after doing all of this crap, we can defeat Bowser a 3rd freaking time and finally collect the key and end the first Bowser stage. And that does it for the first area of the game. But before moving on to the next section, we have a rematch with the Goomba brothers, this time being more deadlier than ever. Oh my god, so stupid. Okay. So yeah, here we go, Goomba brothers, phase 2. So, for green one, you jump, for pink one, you punch, and for blue one, you just jump again. Yeah, pretty easy. I remember one of the Goombas calling me a lame ass. Yeah, I remember one of them calling me a lame ass. Oh, I guess they actually removed it. Okay. So now we move on to the second area, where we arrive at this village that got destroyed by one of the meteors that crashed during the intro cutscene. And here we have the next 5 main courses, as well as more one-off levels. But this is also the point where the game starts to pick up in difficulty, which in some cases, I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking rip your heart. It's not a good thing. So moving on to course 6, we have Super Sweet Sugarland, where we must pretend to be a health inspector and do some factory inspection for Star 1. But before we head into the power plant, I decided to get the 100 coin star as well as beating our first rainbow coin minigame. If you head to the first area of the game, you may have noticed this Toad House pop in when you get close to the Chalice area with the Cloud Suit level. And this Toad House is very interesting, since you can check your stats on your adventure, choose your favorite color, which has no meaning whatsoever, but you can also play minigames and get extra stars for your completion journey. However, 3 of these minigames minigames are locked, and in order to unlock them, we must complete these rainbow coin minigames, where we must pound the switch and collect 5 rainbow coins in this small candy area in order to unlock a new minigame. Thankfully, the location of these coins are not that obscure and they're always in predetermined places. But if you manage to get all of these coins with 5 seconds to spare, you'll get another extra achievement for your trouble. So with that done, we get some coins and go inside the factory for our inspection. And here we have to do some scary platforming over deadly spikes, which unfortunately... Are you fucking kidding me? That was a... So with that false jump scare, we get the 100 coin star as well as star 1, which will put us at 45 stars, unlocking the second Bowser stage as well as giving us another achievement. For star 2, we must scale this honey fall and climb to the faucet by using these marshmallows, where we have to ground pound them in order to get a huge boost giving you access to the star. Very easy and honestly a very creative way to get a star. Star 3, we re-enter the factory and catch a ride on this conveyor belt and avoid some barriers in order to get the next star. For star 4, we chat with this Wom who challenges to ride this platform and survive one lap around the track without dying or getting off the platform. For the most part, this one is very easy, but these flying bombs can be a nuisance if not careful, especially since their tracking is very annoying in the worst case. But if you manage to survive, the Womp gets so humiliated that kills himself, rewarding you with a star. Star 5 is the red coin star, and here we get one of the worst red coin placements in the game that honestly puts shotgunners from Tomb Raider 2 to shame, where we must do an almost pixel perfect long jump over this donut in order to grab the coin. And as for the rest, they're very easy to get. Just make sure you don't screw up this galaxy cookie section and you'll be golden. And lastly, for star 6, we need to feed this chain chomp, and here's where we get the help from our good old friend Yoshi, which you can ride in this level as well as make eggs and throw eggs, which you must do to the chain chomp in order to feed him and get the final star of course 6. So with course 6 done, we move on to our first one-off stage of area 2, Gloomy Ambience, where we must climb this tower before the abyss consumes us and then collect some red coins in this place, which includes some graves for Bowser's minions, a pulsating flower that kills you, which caught me off guard since I never knew that was even a thing, and also get a couple of Easter eggs like this wall that has a boo that reveals the most traumatizing secret of life, as well as a grave for a character that will never get a proper sequel, because he's dead. As we exit the course, we go back to area 1 where we get told by Peach that we're under attack and that the moon is crashing into the Mushroom Kingdom. But before Peach has more time to elaborate, she gets taken by this funny looking guy. This is Rashay, and he's our big bad boy for this game. Rashay tells us that if we want to see Peach again, we must collect enough stars so that we can trade them for Peach and hopefully also stop the moon from crashing into the planet, since he's responsible for this entire catastrophe. So with Peach predictably captured, we now go into the Toad House and play some minigames. Starting with Whack-A-Mole, we must jump on these Monty Moles and get a high score. For all these minigames, the main objective is to reach the target score, and by doing so, you'll get a star. Whack-A-Mole is really easy and the target is not that big. Next up, we have Hexagon Heat, one of the best Mario Party minigames ever, which honestly, if I had to pick, I would have chosen Booksquirm. And just like Mario Party 2, we must pay attention in order to survive, which is really not that hard to do. And finally, for now at least, we have the minigame that we unlocked in Court 6, King of the Log, where we must roll this log and collect some coins. This one is what I would say to be the hardest minigame, mainly due to the insta-death bog. But because the coin requirement is very small, it is very doable and you don't need to get everything, which thank God there's not an achievement for getting all coins, otherwise this would have driven me insane. But with the minigames done for now, we head to course 7 and one of my favorite courses, Dusky Doomed Dale. Star 1, we must head into this cave and rival a reflection, where we must have a boss fight which is very similar to the King Boo boss fight in Mario 64 DS. But before we fight this big guy, we must defeat some smaller boos, which include regular boos, electric boos, bomb boos, and all of this accompanied by Hopes and Dreams is a better song. Star 2, we must craft a star, and while we do so, we also work on the 100 coin star. By going to the town, you'll find a blacksmith that is capable of crafting a star. But in order to do so, we must acquire gold, a diamond crystal, and a power flower. The diamond is inside the Boo Cave, the gold is at the top of the church as an offering to the gods, let's hope the god in question is not Kratos, and the power flower is on the other side of the mountain, guarded by boulders and Yukikis. But nothing that well-timed jumps can't handle. And once we acquire the materials as well as the 100 coin star, we will be able to craft a star which will lead us to no consequences whatsoever. Listen, stealing the gold, it was for the greater good. Star 3 is the red coin star, where we must enter the church and scale it while killing ghosts, however that works, which includes disturbing the Boo Council in order to get more coins as well as the star. Star 4 is where the level gets interesting. We have a ceremony where the villagers are trying to bomb this witch because of the curse that is cursing the village. Let's just hope that this bombing doesn't give us another Castlevania situation. And by talking to the witch, he tells us that he's not a bad witch and he'll prove it if we get his wand back, which is located on his house. Heading to the village, we have 2 houses we can enter. If we enter the right house, we'll find a picture of Toadette we can kick for an achievement, demanding why she isn't a terrible character introduced in a soulless cash grab that should have been a collection, but I digress. But in this house, we also have a hidden Boo that wants to scare some toads for some reason, even though looking at the Boo will actually make him cower in fear, but that's besides the point. And by going to the house on the left, we will find the wand, which we give it to the toad who turns out to be a Magic Koopa. Oh no, I did not see that coming. And with the power of his stars, he'll destroy the village. We did a crime! Hooray! And with the power of his star, he'll destroy the village. Possibly. Heading into Star 5, we get arrested for freeing the witch and dooming the village as well as stealing the gold. And so we are locked up. But thankfully, we are incredibly stubborn, and so we escape from our cell. In this section, you want to be very careful, since the line of sight of these guard bombs is very iffy, and you'll get spotted even when you're hiding. But by being patient and learning the guard movements, you'll escape the prison and prepare for the finale, where we must defeat the Magic Koopa and save the village. Watch this. There you go. That's the fight. And there we go. Valley of Toads. And that is it for Dusky Doom Dale. So before heading into the next level, we return to Gloomy Ambience to teabag this grave and reveal that Mario has superiority issues. Oh my god, how the fuck do you say that word? Reveal that Mario has superiority issues, even though we all know Luigi is and always will be the better brother. And so we head through this crack and enter the gamer room, filled with cool props as well as funny references like an N64 version of Final Fantasy VII, as well as Dinosaur Planet, which is the best Star Fox game. But in this gamer room, we have the desk which will take us to Gloomy Ambience again. Yeah, I cannot explain this. It's basically the same as the cloud area, but whatever. In this table, we have red coins, but we also have some secrets to uncover. If you fall off the table behind the binder, you'll see a scribble of Wario that will let you know that not only he was here, but he's also number 1. And once we go back to the table, we try to be funny with this working calculator, but fail because we're too immature. So instead, let's get the star and get the achievement for getting the stars in both Gloomy Ambience levels. But once we get the star, we return in order to do some proper math. Yeah, you want to make sure you like stay in the middle of the button, otherwise we're gonna get what happened with the 8. Heh, I spelled boobies. Alright. But yeah, we have to spell boobies. But then we have to subtract it with the number we saw on that sheet, which is 2672. Also TI 64. That's a nice touch. And there we go. And the result is a bunch of 5s and 3s. Nice. I love it. So now we move on to course 8, Melty Molten Mountains, where we have a cool freeze frame galaxy homage, which also applies to the music, which is pretty cool. Star 1, we must climb the volcano by dealing with our worst enemy that returns for vengeance, the camera. Fucking... Oh my god. Okay, fine. Fine. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fucking camera. I swear to god. Dude, what the fuck is this camera? Oh my god. I'm gonna kill myself. I swear to god. I swear to god. I'm gonna kill myself. And you can't even grab the fucking ledge. Wow. Alright. Well, that was a shit show. Yeah, here we go. And there it is. Star 2, we must go into the cold area and into this hole so that we can access a secret slide, which, compared to the slides of 64, is a bit more difficult, but not that bad. Star 3, we go to the top of the cold area and enter this cave for a hot and cold puzzle. But before entering, we encounter a poor unfortunate soul stuck on the ice. And as much as we try, our butt is not that thick to crack the ice, but at least we get rewarded for trying. For the hot and cold puzzle, we need to use the combined efforts of the fire and ice flowers in order to solve 2 puzzles. Puzzle 1 is very simple. You must melt or freeze the water depending on the colored tile at the bottom. And for puzzle 2, we must lead these snowballs into 4 different holes while making sure that these bombs do not destroy the snowballs that are already on the holes. Which, all things considered, is very easy to do, since in my attempt, I only encountered 1 bomb before the puzzle was completed and get rewarded with the star. Star 4, we must get silver stars in the flame area. And if you're feeling scared by the fire, you can always equip an ice flower in order to walk on lava as a safety measure. Star 5 is the red coin star, and for this one, we must get a fire flower since some red coins are covered in a layer of ice that only fire can break. And for the final star, we must get a particular flower and defeat the blark in the opposite section related to the flower. Very easy, and honestly one of the easier boss stars. Up next, we have Course 9, Harried Honey Hive. And for Star 1, we must chat with Queen Bee and answer some personal questions that might get her removed from royalty. But we'll tolerate this kind of privacy abuse since we now can become Bee Mario and have better control over Galaxy, which is honestly a freaking miracle. And with this bee form, we can make it through this ravine for the star. Not before getting locked because the 100 coin star completely screwed us over. Here we go, and goodbye, funny number. And oh my god, I lost my bee power. Nice. That is some great game design there, video game. You gotta fly through the gap. Otherwise, you're gonna die. But yeah, by just mashing the A button, you can get a lot of distance with the bee form. Star 2, we have to save the children by defeating these hairy-legged scuttlebugs, which are no different from regular scuttlebugs. Star 3, we must raise this bee and make it to the end using the broken powers of the bee suit. This race is overall not that hard, but just like the mermaid race in Course 4, we must also do this race fast as we only have 40 seconds if we want to get an achievement, which, let me just say right now, you're gonna cut it really close. Oh, that is beautiful, that is beautiful, that is beautiful. And we did it. Star 4 is the red coin star, and because we got all the coins when going for the 100 coin star, this one was incredibly easy. Stars 5 and 6, we must head up this rope and into a spider nest. For Star 5, we grab this new mushroom and become Spider Mario, where we can spawn a rope out of our ass and use it to traverse this nest and get all 5 silver stars. And for Star 6, we must return to the nest and fight the big spider mama. And for this fight, we must pound her big red cross in order to kill it. And the best way to do so is to lure its grab attack and then go for the hit. She also has a bite attack, but if you keep your distance and lure the grab, you'll kill this 8-legged freak of nature and fully complete Course 9. So now it's time for the last one of courses of this area. But in order to access them, we must collect this mushroom that will make Mario thinner. Almost like paper, so that he can slide into this pipe that is blocked by a grate and enter the dry bone desert. In this sandy wasteland, we have another red coin star, and for this one, we must use the paper shroom in order to get certain coins and also ride these platforms to the top thanks to our reduced weight. And once we collect the star, we now have 2 one-up stages to go, which happen to be in this level, so Yeah, we have levels within levels. Welcome back, Hazy Maze Cave. Starting out, we have to take to the skies and go into another version of Above the Clouds, where we have this airship going in circles and you have the task of getting red coins. We have the cloud suit, but this one is one of those levels where losing the suit means that you'll never get another one. And this level has these stupid cannons that launches bullet bills that track Mario like a motherfucker. And sadly, we'll see these stupid bullets in more ROM hacks, so yay, my life sucks. But because there's only one blaster, if you get the coin and leave quickly, the bill will not be a problem and you'll have the cloud suit for the rest of the coins as well as the star. And finally, we have this well in the desert that will take us to a secret aquarium, where we have, once again, red coins. This fishbowl is not that big and the coins are easy to find, but your biggest concern is your air meter, which you must replenish with these bubbles, but as long as you keep track of your air meter, this one is very easy and we'll get another achievement for our completion mastery. So now we go into course 10, Sky High Islands, and the final course before we move on to the next Bowser stage. Star 1, we must enter this cave and turn these blue buttons yellow in order to spawn the star, where your biggest threat is the green slime that will kill you instantly, as well as Mario's bad platforming skills, because my god, this game is starting to piss me off with the platforming. And oh my god, he actually kicked! I don't believe it. But if you manage to pull it off, you'll get your 80th star, which will unlock the path to the final stage of the game and give us another achievement. Star 2, we must fight Kerma Koopa, the god of these islands. This should have been Star 6, but I digress. And for this fight, we must fight the wind and ground pound her nose 3 times, all while avoiding Paragoombas and more wind. But overall, this is not a hard fight whatsoever. Star 3, we have to scale this giant windmill. But before we do that, we get on top of the structure that has Star 6 captive in order to find and read a journal mentioning the disappointment that there will never be a sequel and that they should return to something we never get the answer to. Maybe Star Road 2? I don't know. In this level, we also have the second rainbow coin minigame. And just like course 6, we must get all coins with 5 seconds to spare for an achievement. This one is more difficult, mainly due to some coins hovering over these fire plants that have a very interesting hitbox, but as long as you make it quick and remember the location of the coins, this one is not that bad. You just need to nail the jumps for the flower coins, even though the possibility of death is 100% present. So after that, we scale the windmill while dealing with these stupid explosive balloons that have, once again, very interesting hitboxes. What? But as long as you avoid them, the next star is really not that bad. Star 4, we must bomb this cave and create a path to the star by long jumping to the switch across the gap that will create platforms for you to use as traversal. We also find dead bodies. This game is awesome. Star 5 is the red coins, and this is the hardest red coin star we have so far. And just like other times, I went for the 100 coin star as well, which is very easy if you know what areas to do first. Wait a second. You expect me to bounce on the Paragoombas and get on that vine? Get the fuck out of here. And lastly, Star 6, we must name the ruler of this island in order to unlock the final star and fully complete course 10. Now, even though we're done with every course, we do have one more secret level before the Bowser stage. In course 10, we have this bomb that will mention a secret pipe, which you can see if you look from a certain angle. And by jumping down where the bomb is, we get to set pipe and enter into the third and final version of Above the Clouds, and what is for me the second hardest level in the game. For this level, we must get all the red coins, but we also have to work fast, as the airship moves on a linear trajectory, making this level a sort of auto-scroll. We do have the cloud suit again, but just like the last of these levels, losing the suit makes this level worse. And it also doesn't help that for this level, I was trying to have clouds in reserve since there's a secret we can find if we manage to get to the top of the central tower. But after swallowing my pride and a lot of deaths, I just went for the red coins, getting another achievement, and then I went back into the top of the tower, showing a button combination that will allow you to open the green door in course 5. So, we got A, L, B, Z, B, A, L, Z. Alb's balls. And look who it is. And since I was back in the first area, I also decided to do the minigame we unlocked in course 10, which is Coin Shower Flower. This minigame, just like the Mario Party 1 minigame, is incredibly broken, but it's also very easy to get every coin. Just make sure you stay clear of the very tiny gaps between the petals, because in the worst case scenario, you are just going to die and it's not going to be your fault. Oh. See, look at that. Like I slipped, and then I died. That was awesome. So now we head into the second Bowser stage, the Shadow Factory. And this is the point where the game goes from difficult to annoyingly difficult, as this level has one of the worst extra stars of the game, which doesn't help this level, especially since the platforming of this level starts to get a little bullshit, especially with certain red coins. I should worry first about the red coin star, because of stuff like that, okay? See, look at that. Oh! Why? I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking rip your heart. I would rather keep away from the... Fuck you. Fuck. Mamma mia. So once you manage to keep your sanity throughout all of this, we go into the boss, which we have a good old homage to Ocarina of Time as we fight Shadow Mario. And just like the Shadow Link fight, Shadow Mario is incredibly easy. With the power of butt stomps, you can completely destroy this fight. Although you want to steer clear since Shadow Mario tends to throw some shadow holes that will kill you instantly. But as long as you time yourself with the ground pounds and jumps, this fight is incredibly easy, and honestly, thank God this fight was overall easier compared to the level we just did, because the level we just did was literal hell. So with the second key in hand, we return to the Shadow Factory and go through this gate in order to access the third and final area of the game. In this place, we have the last 5 courses as well as the final one, of course, and what is honestly my favorite course in the entire game, Luna Park. In this amusing park, we have 3 objectives to accomplish. We have the red coin star, which requires you to try out all the different attractions, win a minigame with Yoshi, which looks a bit tanned for some reason, where we must use his egg power to break the targets, and finally unlock the final Toad House minigame. And similar to the previous 2, we have a speed achievement. Only this one moves the time left from 5 seconds to 3 seconds, which at the end of the day, it didn't help because this one took me so long to do that it wasn't even funny. I did it before 5 seconds. Oh my God. And for our final minigame, we have Cake Defense, where we must defeat the Goombas before they get a slice of our delicious cake. This one can be hard, but as long as you defeat the Goombas as they come out, this one is not that bad. But by getting the final minigame star, we'll get an achievement for getting all stars in the Toad House and get the final stars from one of levels, which means that we're only missing the last 5 courses and the final stage of the game in terms of stars and achievements. And so we begin with course 11, Big Beast's Belly, where we must free a bunny before it gets digested by the acidic fluids. And as we find our way to free the bunny, we work on the 100 coin star, which is one of the easiest 100 coin stars, mainly because this level is incredibly small. And as for star 1, we take a ride on this clam and press a button that will liberate our piss-stained friend, giving us our next star. Star 2, we must enter the intestines and head into the frog concert, where we must repeat the button sequences in order to get a shiny reward. Very easy, except when you forget what button is the A button on your PlayStation controller. Oh, whoops. Star 3 is weird, as we need to free the sushi from being dissolved, and by helping him, we can hit the uvula and make this giant fish get filled with fluids as we make our way to the star, which is at the top. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this star is overall pretty fucking stupid, just because you not only have to be quick as the water will drain, but the water will also kill you fast. Star 4, we must re-enter the intestines and follow this rope as it will take us to a lonely fisher toad who will give us a star for our ventures inside a giant fish, which thank God we didn't fight the ass. Star 5 is the red coins, which is very easy since we will respawn the star while going for the 100 coins. And for star 6, we must lure these spider mechs into this yellow clam in order to feed it so that it can die and become the final star of the level. So now we move on to course 12, Gamble Game Gallery. And this is the point where the game starts to get at its most difficult level. For star 1, we must scale the casino, and as long as you endure the tedious and unresponsive platforming of Super Mario 64, this star is really not that bad. You guys are just bad. Star 2, we must chase some rodents and head into the sewers while avoiding mice as annoying as the bees from Star Road. Good God, mastering this game is gonna be rough. And also try not to fall into the death water that will guarantee a certain death. Stars 3, 4, and 5, we have to play some mini games and also do some gambling, as we now have to access the 3 different casino games and get a star in each respective area. And some coins for the 100 coin star, but we'll get that one later. Star 3, we go into Crazy Roulette, where we slide, or walk, on a giant roulette wheel and try to find the star. If you check the table next to the pianta that unlocks the game, you'll see that 26 has a star icon on it. So with this information, if we ground pound number 26 on the wheel, we'll spawn our next star. Just make sure you don't fall off, although falling off does not kill you. Star 4, we go into Mischief Masher, where we must survive 3 waves of enemies, which include bandits, Goombas, Chuckyas, and Pokies that must be punched, as you can't dive into them like how you can in Vanilla 64, which is probably one of the dumbest changes this game actually did, in terms of returning enemies. You do get coins to heal yourself between every round, but the annoying placements of flame chomps will give this game a run for your sanity. Not your money though, because, you know, if you die, you lose all your coins. Star 5, we have the red coins, where the only logical place to get them is in Pinball Panic, where we have the grand return of the pachinko machine, which is somehow even worse than the one from Sunshine. That said, you can 100% cheese this star by standing on the red elevated walls and jump to the coins on the table. And because falling off does not count as a death, with trial and error, you'll get this one fairly easily and quickly. And finally, for star 6, we must scale the casino again. Only this time, we must capture a bandit that took off with a star. This is also where we get the 100 coin star and finally complete this gambling mess of the stage. Although, because of the fact that you can't die on the roulette and the pinball minigame, it honestly wasn't that terrible. So before we move on to course 13, we now have to get our final Easter egg achievement, which we can get if we manage to get on top of the casino, which requires you to do a pixel perfect triple jump followed by a wall kick in order to get to the top. The hardest part about this entire sequence is to pull off the triple jump, as the geometry of this light banner is so awkward that I have never found a consistent way of pulling it off. But with enough trial and a lot of errors, we eventually get it and thankfully pull off the wall kick on our first attempt. Since with my luck, if I didn't get this, I would have probably gone insane during the 3rd stream. Thank you, God fucking damn it, okay. Do I like cat ears? There you go. We've officially become a furry. So now we head over to course 13, Colossal Circuit, which is visually my favorite course in the game. For star 1, we must ascend with these fans and make a very stupid wall kick from this button in order to turn off the fan and grab the star. That can't be gotten with a triple jump sometimes. Oh my god, I love it. My voice is dying because I'm sick. For star 2, we scale these cables at the start and have to deal with some terrible hit detection and also have to rely on Mario's excellent platforming skills. Oh, what the fuck was that? Why did you dive and you didn't... Super Mario 64 is a perfect game with no flaws whatsoever. Oh my god. No. Mario, what are you doing? Somersault. Thank you. Oh my god, we did it. Oh my god. Stupid. So stupid. Star 3, we head over to this green cable spaghetti and head inside in order to dust off these black clouds, which require wall kicks, my favorite. Which can sound scary, but thankfully the area is small, which honestly I have no idea why this star actually is a thing. It should have been cool if it was just a maze instead of 5 secrets. Star 4, we have to endure torture as we have the terrible return of the Spring Mushroom. Thankfully, this version of Spring Mario has actual control, and with the use of our springy butt, we can scale the circuits and get our next star with extreme caution, because even though we have more control, we don't have full control. Star 5 is the red coins, and like clockwork, we get the 100 coin star, which can be scary because of these Electro Koopas, which can combo you since they do 3 damage. But if you prioritize them and then work on the rest of the coins, this one is not that bad. And we even get a clever way to get a red coin. We want to power the light bulb up. And we shall get the red coin. And finally, for star 6, we must activate our antivirus and defeat some viruses. Oh, that was easy. Looking into the memory. And so we head into course 14, and what I would say is my least favorite course of the game, Live Its Surreal Dream. You get it? Did you get the joke? Don't worry, I'll give you a couple minutes. For star 1, we must take a ride on these snake blocks, which involves stupid crap like this, which backs up my reasoning as to why I despise snake blocks in either 3D or 2D Mario. In star 2, we must commit the art of death and jump into this endless pit while touching all 5 star emblems in order to spawn the star. This star has a really cool concept, but overall is very annoying just because the teleport to the top is very instantaneous, making the upper emblems more difficult to get. Star 3, we must learn a sacred melody and play it back using these note trees, which have a music note at a certain height. If you check the intro cutscene, you'll see a spectral gate, which may have the solution we need. And speaking of the spectral gate, for star 4, we must enter the gate and traverse through a temple stuck in the past and present. Similar to the water temple from course 4, we must jump through pipes in order to make it to the star, which is really funny that I bring up the water temple, as this temple is somewhat easier than the water one, since this one is incredibly linear. Star 5 is the red coin star, so you already know that I went for the 100 coin star, which ended up being more annoying because of these stupid coins above the spectral gate. And as for the red coins, we use these gas clouds in order to get to the top of this wooden hand, okay, sure, whatever, and get the last remaining coins. And lastly, we have star 6, which is a very awkward star. As you make your way to the bottomless pit area, if we ground pound this cloud, we make it pee all over a bud, which will spawn a wooden child. Don't ask. And with this little guy, we have to play a game of Simon Says, or Woodboy Says. As you need to repeat the actions it does so that the game carries on and get a star for our fair play. If this wooden child decides to agree that we actually did the input correctly, because oh my god, the jumping is incredibly annoying. And there we go. So yeah, it's weird, but you know, when you actually get it, it just works. So getting off the drugs, we head over to the final course of the game, course 15, Rainbow Road. And this is the hardest main course of the game, but thankfully it is 10 times better than Rainbow Ride. Oh my god! Fucking... Sometimes. Star 1, we must use the launch stars and note blocks in order to fly through some rainbows and get our first challenge done. Star 2, we must ascend through the rainbow lift while avoiding some thunder lakitus and chain chomps. And once we reach the end, we use this rainbow star and try to get up this slope, since the rainbow star has a similar move to the super triple jump you get after talking to Yoshi in Vanilla 64. And this sequence is pretty fucking stupid, but if you keep doing consistent jumps, you'll get up to the star eventually. For Star 3, we must play a game of Mario Kart in the most linear course ever, which, looking at this now, I think I found the inspiration for Mario Kart World's course design. Star 4, we must travel through this rainbow snake block, which is much thinner than the previous ones, making it very easy to fall off and also very stupid to traverse through, which doesn't help the fact that we need to pull off a wall jump in order to get the star. And if there's one thing I hate in games more than ever, is being pressured in doing a precise input in a life or death situation, which, my god, is gonna make Symphony of the Night a pain in the ass. Star 5 is the red coins, which are all found in the starting area. And as usual, I went for the 100 coin star, which is by far the hardest 100 coin star of the game. And finally, we have Star 6, which after having a very long time thinking of what star I wanted to choose, we enter the center dome and use this rainbow star and destroy all chain chomps in order to get the final star, of course 15, and the final star before the end game. But with that, we now have one more level in order to not only finish the game, but also master this game. So with 128 stars, we go into the final stage of the game, Rashay's Moon Cellar, the hardest level of the game. This stage is divided into 4 different towers. The objective of the stage is to unlock the main elevator in the center that will take us to the core leading to Rashay and where Peach is being held. In order to unlock the elevator, we need to go into 4 different towers where we must press a switch in order to deactivate the barrier for the elevator. Each tower also features 2 red coins, but the coins are on your way to the top so you'll get them as you ascend, making the red coin star not that hard, but because the opportunity of death is always present, this is what I would consider to be the hardest red coin star of the game. Starting off, we have the Ice Tower, where we must go up the icy slope while avoiding snowballs. This one is probably the easiest one, as it's the most direct one and the red coins are not that hard to get. Up next, we have the Electric Tower, where we must use the broken art of wall kicks in order to get to the top. But because the wall kicks are never over a bottomless pit, if you fail, you can just try again, making this one another easy tower to conquer. Then we have the Wind Tower, where we must use the Fire Flower in order to spawn some platforms that will take us to the button. Here we also have the return of bullet bills, except that the blaster seems broken since no bullets came from my butt. This tower overall is the second hardest, and it's mainly because of the awkward platforming in order to get to the top. But then we have the Fire Tower, which is by default the hardest tower of this level. And this tower is the hardest one mainly because of the fact that 2 hits from fire will kill you. We have narrow ledges, bullies, and fireballs that have very questionable hitboxes. But the most aggravating issue about this tower is the fact that out of nowhere we have to do some lava bounces in order to reach the button. And I'm going to put this on record just for reference in future 64 ROM hacks I do. Lava bouncing is without question one of the worst techs in Mario 64 ever. And the fact that a lot of ROM hacks overuse these stupid shit a lot is incredibly tedious, annoying, and it's by far one of the worst things about basically 64 as a whole. Now thankfully we do have some recovery hearts, but even then you may get unlucky and just land on the lava below and just die. However, that being said, compared to the other 64 ROM hacks I've played, this one is by far the easiest instance of lava bouncing. Now, my final order for the towers was wind, electric, ice, and fire. I decided to go for wind and electricity first because the way back to the center requires you to do a jump to the tube that sometimes can betray you and kill you. Not to mention that the wind one is overall the more annoying one to climb. And as for the ice and fire, I just decided to be stupid and get the fire tower last because I have selective masochism. Although that being said, when it comes to the lava bouncing, I can somewhat have a consistent rhythm when it comes to the bounces. But no matter the order, once I got the last red coin, I decided to get the stars so that I don't have to get the coins again in case I screw up the lava bounces. Motherfucker. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna go grab the red coin star now, just so I don't have to do it again. And by getting the last switch, we will unlock the path to the core, but also get the final star of the game, which will give us the last 2 achievements with only 1 more remaining, which is just beating the game. So now we take the elevator to the core and confront Rashay. Starting off, he wants to play with us by putting us through some basic platforming that I can't pull for the life of me, because Super Mario 64 platforming is perfect in every way. But once we get to the pillar, Rashay will start chasing us so that he can try to steal our star power. But after doing the master movements of running away like a scared little girl, Rashay corners us and almost kills us, but with his cockiness, he flings us to a cage containing the Goomba brothers, who help us in draining the star power in order to fight and defeat Rashay in order to save the world. And time! In terms of quality, I'll give this set a 9 out of 10. I love the incentive to discover most of the Easter eggs featured in this game, but I also love how we have challenge achievements for certain stars in certain courses, like the mermaid race in course 4 and the puzzle panel in course 2. But another reason this gets a 9 in quality is mainly because of the many different stars featured in this game. One of my biggest gripes about Vanilla 64 is that most stars are basically the same, but here we have unique gimmicks that are not only seen once, and that does have an impact, no pun intended, on the enjoyment of this ROM hack overall. As for difficulty, I'll also give it a 9, and that's mainly because this game is fucking hard. Once you reach the second hub, the game starts to pick up in difficulty, especially when you reach the certain one-off levels, as well as the second Bowser stage. And because you have to deal with Mario 64's wonky controls, like the inconsistent wall jump, it makes certain starts from the main courses and one-off courses really annoying. And at the same time, we also have certain Easter eggs that rely on perfect platforming or just wasting a life in order to get said achievement, like the Koopaling scribbles in the first Bowser stage. And because the second half of the game can get almost stupid difficult, not to mention that we have the inclusion of the worst tech in Mario 64 with lava bouncing, I'll give the fun of mastering the set an 8 out of 10. If you're a Mario 64 newbie, I simply do not recommend you play this game as your first ROM hack. If I had to recommend one of them, it would be Star Road, as ironic as that sounds, because this game will kick your ass. And as for the hardest achievement, because of the lava bouncing and the precise platform you need to pull off before the finale, I'll give rolling out the cellar for getting both stars in Roche's Moon Cellar the award for being the hardest achievement of the set. Although that being said, I will give an honorable mention to Brighten the Factory for getting both stars in the second Bowser level just because of the stupid clipping and Mario bugging out during some sections when trying to get the red coins. Even after all this time and multiple Mario 64 ROM hacks beaten and or mastered throughout the years, Last Impact still holds up after revisiting it for this mastery. Now yes, the difficulty of this game skyrockets like crazy during the second half, but at the very least it introduces new aspects and gimmicks in order to make it a unique experience unlike other Mario 64 ROM hacks, which is just a vanilla game, but different and sometimes worse level design that doesn't combine well with Mario's movesets. And as of the question of, is this game better than Star Road? Well, I have to master Star Road before I actually get to that conclusion. So for the time being, big thanks to Sporty Tyke for making this set, and a huge shout out to Case and Manoir for making this amazing ROM hack. And now that we've begun mastering Mario 64 ROM hacks, it will become inevitable when people start asking me to do other ROM hacks, like the aforementioned Star Road, Super Mario 64 and the Grand Star, the Slideverse, Omega Mario 64, 64 Land, 74 Extreme Edition. Yeah, I might do these hacks up subscriber incentives just to delay the inevitable rage that these games and sets will cost. Thanks for watching this RetroAchievements Mastery video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more RetroAchievement Masteries, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of future masteries. For our next game, I was originally going to return to the PlayStation 1 and master Lilo and Stitch Trouble in Paradise. However, 2 hours after the Shrek video went up, I saw that this game was getting a revision, which will introduce new achievements. So until the revision is done, I'll put this game on hold. So in the meantime, let's introduce a new console to this series, as we head over to the Nintendo DS and master Aliens Infestation, which is one of the best Metroidvanias you've never played. Mainly because this game is only available for the DS, which makes it an underrated gem that needs to have a re-release. That is most likely never going to happen because of licensing issues and also Disney, but a man can dream. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching this video. I'm Jonathan Wolf, and I will see you all in my next Retro Achievement Mastery. Later, Retro Achievers, and take it easy.